Welcome to the Love Life with Lauren podcast with me, your host, Lauren Jobson. Most days you'll find me learning and sharing about how we work as human beings so we can have the resources to overcome past pain and the challenges of daily life to live happier, intentional and fulfilling lives. I do this while adoring and loving on my incredible hubby, two beautiful daughters and our black and white cavoodle dog. Here on the podcast, I'll share with you all things learning to love ourselves enough to create a life we absolutely love. From my 22 years in the human potential space and since teaching thousands of people since 2009, the magical life-changing modalities such as NLP, hypnosis, matrix therapies, and archetypal coaching, I'm excited to bring you practical tips, techniques, and insights on how to improve your daily experiences with your physical, mental, emotional and spiritual well-being. Enjoy today's episode. Welcome back. This is the second episode. If you have not listened yet to the first episode of this podcast, I would recommend that you listen to that first. That would just give you a bit more of a context as to what I am talking about today, even though this sabotage can sit separately and will absolutely make sense by itself. You might like to know some context in which this sits a little bit more as I do speak about introducing the 8 possible ways that we can sabotage ourselves and how they manifest in 8 different ways because they are the 8 principles of consciousness. So go ahead, have a listen to episode 1 if you can. Of course, if you can't yet change the track or anything like that, absolutely stay on this track and enjoy. And also know, please, that the audio will be better in future sessions. So I appreciate I'm learning that the audio from my masterclass, because this episode does come directly from a very cool, powerful masterclass that I held, and I'd like to share that with more people. So the audio does come from that. So future episodes after episode 3 will have much clearer audio for you. So go ahead, enjoy this episode on this sabotage, the second possible sabotage that we can do. Here we are for the second sabotage. Are you ready to concentrate on the things most important to you? Are you ready to choose one idea, one of them, right? And it can be this big thing. And you can probably break it down into a step. And yes, you can have the big thing if that's still the one thing. And take that idea and bring it down and start doing these next steps that I'll share with you. I'm only going to share this one and the next one today because there are 8 steps we need to manifest something, to manifest any idea into the material plane. And here is the thing we've got to do first. We've got to choose one, so we can start taking action on it. Now, it's really easy, and this might break hearts. This is not easy for me to share with people because I know that this is usually a big aha moment. Having ideas is the easy part. Having ideas is really, it's actually pretty easy when you're connected to your soul. I'm not going to undermine ideas. Ideas are fantastic. They are gold. And when you just stay in ideas and then you come up with all these different ideas and you haven't ever really taken action on one of them, then what's happening is you're staying in the realm of possibility. You're staying in the realm of infinite possibilities where it feels and seems perfect. Because in the realm of infinite possibilities, that is ideas, it's not in the material plane. It's not coming down through our 5 senses and coming onto the earth plane where there's interference. There's stuff down here. There's things like energy and day-to-day life to work with. And the thing is with this is the moment the idea starts to come down inside of you that you do start taking action all of the reality comes into play. And the reality does not feel as good as it doesn't feel as good as the idea. And that's why being inspired helps, because if it's starting to feel, but now I'm noticing my doubts and this is coming up next, this is the next sabotage, so we'll go into this next, right? But I'm sharing with you some of the reality can be things like, all my fears are coming up. I keep telling myself, like, I really don't think I can do this. Or maybe I shouldn't be doing this. Is this really right? Then you think of all the possible consequences that could be happening, could happen. Then it just, it means that you have to actually do something totally different that you haven't done before. And that can be like, oh man, do I really have to do that? And it doesn't feel as good as the idea. The thing we must remember is we are going to get back to how great the idea feels if we keep going. Yeah, if we keep going, it's like if you can get through that uncomfortable time, and it is, I'm just going to say that what it is, it's so uncomfortable. It is so uncomfortable because all your crap comes up. Everyone has it. We just have it at a different level, because anytime you set a new goal for yourself, a next evolution of your next step, like a higher level of where you're at, no matter where you're at financially, people tend to have a bigger financial goal afterwards. Maybe your health, we can always set new levels for our goals. And when we start to bring it down, to take action on it, that stuff comes up. Am I really worthy for this? Is this really good for me? And all the things I'm going to talk to you about why we sabotage in the first place are the reasons that can start to come up, and it doesn't feel good. The thing is, it will get closer and closer to that inspiration the more you take action on it. The more you go through that uncomfortableness, the closer you get to that feeling that inspired you in the first place. And you will be proud of yourself every step that you overcome. Every hurdle that you overcome brings you more and more of what you're actually wanting. Growth, belief in yourself, feeling good and proud and contributing. Every single step, I promise, if you can notice for yourself how your resistance comes up and you do it anyway, you take that idea and you do it anyway, you will get closer to that inspiration. You will get closer to manifesting it, of course, and you will grow and get everything you want along the way too, if you're willing to pay attention, because things are not easy. That's why people don't follow through on their ideas too, because the moment it doesn't feel easy anymore, they revert back to their comfort zones, and we'll explore why. I'll share with you why. Well, I'll just say now, everyone wants to feel safe. The body and the brain is programmed to have us stay in certainty, to have us stay with what we know, even if what we know is not where we want to be, what's even good for us. The unconscious mind thinks it's doing what's good for us, and that's the conflict and the resistance sometimes, that the growth that it asks of us feels like it's going against everything that our unconscious mind wants for us, that is to be safe. But the thing is, it's like, yeah, honey, you're still going to be safe going and meeting new people, because you'll be trusting your intuition. For example, honey, you'll be good and this will be great for you, because the goal is, to be healthier. So if you know that exercising and the food that you're eating right now, even if it's uncomfortable and all your excuses and reasons are coming up, of course it's going to be safer for you to keep going than it is to stay where you are. But the unconscious mind tends to believe we're programmed in, and we have to fight that resistance too, to listen to the excuse. It's quite funny when we can be really self-observant and self-loving enough just to go, isn't my self-talk cute? Because we're not our self-talk. We are always more than our self-talk. Our self-talk has come from all of the different programmings and influences in our world, and a lot of our self-talk thinks it's keeping us safe. And so we want to listen to the excuses and go, and your body knows better. Your body wisdom will still be not lighting up, like, that time where it's not right for you. Some people get it in their stomach where it's a feeling of, no, this is not good for me. Some people get like a heat in their head and it's like, no, this is not good for me. So there's a stronger message that will come through to you if something really is not safe. A lot of that chatter, self-talk in your head is old programming, thinking it's keeping you safe when it's not. So we want to really start to have you access the difference between your body wisdom telling you when something's really not good for you versus when your excuses and reasons are telling you things and you think they're real. That's the thing. They can feel really real. They can sound really real. And you're just going to work on these steps. You really want to just keep the goal in mind. Remember that inspiration. Yes, this is the uncomfortable bit, but you got to keep going. You got to keep going. You got to keep going. And that's what successful people do. They go through the shit and they don't show it. Sometimes you wouldn't know. And you just keep going. And you've done it before. You've had plenty of times in your life where you've proven to yourself you can do things you didn't think you could do. So you can do it again. Are you ready to cut away all the distractions and to concentrate? Are you ready for that? Because the second principle is asking for us to, do I love myself enough to focus and to concentrate on the right things that are best for me? The self-love principle is concentration. Or the secret is focus. Actually, that's the other way around. Doesn't matter. I thought I'd change the slides. That's okay. Same thing, really. Concentration, focus, which means to choose one thing at a time. Notice the magician. The archetype here is the magician, and his finger is pointing to something specific. The pentacles, by the way, on the table represents the material plane. And notice his other arm with his wand is connected to the higher self, and above his head is the infinity sign, which is all of the infinite possibilities of the innocent adventurer. And bringing our inspiration down, it comes down through the wand and out onto the material plane where they have all their resources. We have all of our resources, the cup of emotions, our intellect, so our ability to discern, and all of our resources for the material plane. I've got the sword there of discernment, the roses and the lilies. I'm not going to go into all the symbology, but I will say they represent your desires and your goals. And so we've got to keep that in mind. And this is not the same. This feels different to this, but you've got to keep going. Right? So in the shadow, this is too attached to material manifestations without any true desire or integrity. So this is the law of attraction, by the way. This is going, focus on what you want. And when you focus so well on that and you really live like you already have the thing that you want, you can get it. You can be and have the energy that needs you to call in what you want. And so this is the law of attraction. And there was a documentary and movie and a big book and things about this idea. Now, some of those people on the documentary sharing this law or this principle, consciousness, didn't have integrity and were going for things like stealing money. I don't even know, right? But they weren't connected to with their higher self. They were just totally focused on the material plane. So sometimes we can be so attached to the material plane and think that's going to give us something. And it's not, if we're not connected to the true desire of why we want it in the first place, or it's not from the right integrity. Like, do you really need a big house with so many bedrooms and all the things, la-di-da? And that might mean people start to live out of integrity of their own values to get that thing. And it's like, actually, a big house with all the bedrooms is not really important to me. It was just something that my ego got so caught up in doing and wanting. So that's how this can sometimes be a shadow for people. What about not concentrating on one thing at a time? Trying to concentrate on many things at a time. Now, what does that mean? Because, by the way, you can multitask. You can. I have to be careful what I say here. You know the difference between, are you focusing or are you distracting yourself? And sometimes when you're focusing on one thing, one project, you've got like multiple things going on at the same time. And what this principle invites us to look at is going, for 5 minutes, are you focused on this one thing? So that in the next 5 minutes, yes, you can do that next thing. In the next 5 minutes, say, we'll do that thing. But these 3 things in the 15 minutes have all been towards the same project. That's a time when you go, all right, well, that's just what is needed right now. Checking the emails coming through, doing my slides, right? Like there are certain projects that mean you're focusing on things. But it also saying at one time. Now, we have all different areas of our life, don't we? So it means, say, for 1 hour in your day, you're focusing on your health, like going specifically, say, to exercise. And another hour, you're focusing on a completely different area of life. So you really check in for yourself. This is personal to you, of what does focus mean at one time. But it's like if you've got many ideas about one thing and they're kind of completely different, like 2 ideas for a book, 2 separate ideas for different businesses, different audiences, you got to choose one. You'll know. Depends again on the context, on the thing. Choose one and carry it through. Concentrate enough on it, because that's what this says. In the light of this principle, concentrate. Now, this can also be about you being magical, you knowing that you have your own beautiful power. So when we don't believe we have power over our world, our own environment, this can be a sabotage. We forget that we are actually the ones creating meaning to things. And what about being over-focused and attached to the wrong things? Maybe things for others instead of self, maybe things not on your dreams and goals. Or what about you're so over-focused on something you forget your own physical needs, like not eating well and not going to the bathroom and things like that, or sleeping well because you're so fixated. That's what this can happen with a sabotage. In this principle, you can focus too much, you can concentrate too much to the detriment of other things, your own physical health, but maybe detriment to other areas of your life. So we want to bring this into magical transformations, higher wisdom, connecting again with our spirit from the innocent adventurer, bringing that down and channeling, whatever that means to you. But that could be that you just feel connected to your inner wisdom. You feel connected to your soul, the best parts of you. Yeah. So what we've got here are some questions. Now, this sabotage can be caused by feelings of unworthiness and beliefs around I am not good enough or worthy enough to focus on what I want. So some beautiful questions here. What do I need to bring down from my inspiration and concentrate on? What has stopped me from concentrating on this before? That's a real question, good question to make sure you get the answer to that. What stopped you from concentrating on this before? And again, I'll send you these slides at the end of this class. And is it a mindset shift that you need to focus or concentrate? Is it extra support? Is it a tool? Is it a system, strategy, or ritual you need to put in place to have you concentrate? Yeah, on this idea that you need to do. I hope you gained some helpful insight into how you can love yourself even more today to create a life you love. Remember, Life is a process and you are in process. So all of your feelings are valid and can lead you to incredible learnings and growth if you only choose to be self-aware and self-accepting, to connect into yourself and listen to that beautiful inner wisdom of yours. Please come over to my socials, including Instagram at Lauren Jobson, and to share with me what you learnt from today's episode by commenting on this episode's post. I'd love to connect and hear from you. Subscribe and share the love by sharing this podcast with others. I hope to be in your ears again in the next episode.